Hey guys, this is air conditioning compressor off a 2006 Honda Civic 1.8 liter engine. It might not look exactly as you are expecting because usually we have the pulley sitting on top. So here's the clutch plate, which usually has a little air gap in there, right? And then when this energizes, this coil generates a magnetic field, and if I can get that back on there, that magnetic field will suck this plate, and so it just has a friction fit here with this. The pulley is always being turned, but only when the coil energizes and sucks that plate down does the compressor turn, and that is a function of whenever your air conditioner wants to come on. So I have this off because when I was spinning this, it was making a racket. The bearing was finished. Actually, the old bearing is apart here now. I was using it for other things, but a lot of the ball bearings were just disintegrated in there. It was still turning, but it was really noisy. So when I go online to see what can I do about this, I could order this for 150 bucks, I think. That's a non-Honda part. Or most places just want to sell you the whole compressor. Most places want to sell you the whole compressor for 500 or 600 bucks when all that is wrong is this $12 bearing. So I'm like, well, if I try to put this on and it fails for some reason or other, well, I'm only out 12 bucks and I can always do what they tell me I should have done beforehand. But it's a bit of a process to get this off. This comes off pretty easy. You just take that nut off the end. But the bearing fits in here. It press fit in there. And then the inside of the bearing is press fit into there. And so when you're trying to pull this off, like this will not come off, obviously, because it's press fit into there. And so there's another video out there of a couple guys struggling for hours to get that thing off. I put a pulley on there, a puller, and just pressed it against here, and eventually with a lot of pressure on the puller, and also I was knocking it out this way as that pressure was on, and eventually I got it to come loose. Alright, the depth of that is about 20 millimeters, and that is 20 millimeters. Let's see if we can get this to go in then. Use the old bearing. That went in pretty easy. Yeah, that other bearing wanted to sit in there. Looks like it's fully seated there. There were little tabs. There were little tabs around here because they make this not to come out. It's one of the reasons they don't sell this to you. But I just used a Dremel tool, and not with this wheel, but a little grinding wheel on there, and I just ground those out. So of course now the bearing is free to move this way. I suppose if there was pressure on it to move that way, which there really isn't, it's just turning. But probably I should get some JB Weld or something and just tack it in at a few spots. As long as I don't get it over to this, should be fine. Help it stay in place. So that was good. Don't forget a little spacer there. Snap ring that holds this in. So that goes around the groove there. I just got that out with snap ring pliers like that. But of course I tried to do this while it was on the vehicle. I could not succeed just because of where this is located. So I had to decompress the air conditioning lines in order to remove this to effect this repair. I'm not sure if it could be done on the vehicle. It's sure a lot easier with it out though. So that just slid on up to that point. So we don't want to hit this hard at all, because we could deform the shape of this, which would be bad. But it doesn't have far to go. I don't know if you can see that it is going in here, and I'm just pushing it back till I can fit the slide in, that snap ring in there. I'll save myself a whole lot of money. Maybe you too. Let's see if we can get that snap ring back in there now. It's hard to tell if it's really fully and completely back there. So I don't know if you can see, but it is not really seated. So it just took a little, I just had to push it in at a couple spots with the flathead screwdriver there. Alright, so once it's back together, you can tighten that down to 25 Newton meters. And check your spacing here, should be between 14 and 26 thousandths of an inch.